Welcome to Arirang News. I'm Kim Dami in Seoul. As South Korea commemorates its 68th Memorial Day today, President Yoon promised to protect the nation from North Korea's nuclear and missile threats, saying the ROK-U.S alliance has been recently upgraded to one based on nuclear weapons. The remarks were made as he attended the Memorial Day event at the Seoul National Cemetery in the morning. Consoling the heroes' families, he also said the country has to pay tribute to the patriots and fallen soldiers to be recognized by the international community as a proper nation. During the ceremony, President and First Lady Kim Gun-hee also attended the burial of a recently identified fallen soldier from the Korean War, Kim Bong-hak, as his body was laid alongside his brother Kim Sung-hak, already resting at the Seoul National Cemetery. The 20th Shangri-La Dialogue, a prominent Asian defense forum, was dominated by the rising tensions between the U.S. and China. Despite the conclusion of the event, contentious issues, especially those revolving around the Taiwan Strait, remained unresolved. Kim Hyun-sung reports.
Curtains came down on the 20th Shangri-La Dialogue at the weekend, but not before underscoring tensions between two global superpowers, the U.S. and China. This rising friction threaded through the entire event.
The intensifying rivalry between the U.S. and China was made strikingly evident here at Shangri-La, with strong words fanning the flames of an already tense situation.
Mutual respect should prevail over bullying and hegemony. Facts have proven that where there is hegemony in power politics, there will be no peace and wars will abound.
The defense chiefs from the two countries didn't even get a chance to sit down for one-on-one talks, with Lee Shang-fu turning down American counterpart Lloyd Austin's calls for discussions. All the pair shared was a handshake during the opening reception.
And a cordial handshake over dinner is no substitute for a substantive engagement. And the more that we talk, the more we can avoid the misunderstandings and miscalculations that could lead to crisis or conflict.
Much of the conflict stems from the discord over the Taiwan Strait, with both sides refusing to budge from their stances.
We are determined to maintain peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. And so are a number of countries around the world, and that number continues to grow.
Let China make it clear once again. The more ramped up the separatist activities for Taiwan independence, the more resolute our countermeasures will be, and all foreign interference will end in failure.
Meanwhile, the forum was paralleled by a tense incident taking place in the Taiwan Strait. A Chinese warship came alarmingly close to an American destroyer during a joint Canada-U.S. mission. The standoff reflected how brewing tensions between U.S. and China continue to pose a problem, with the Shangri-La Dialogue concluding no closer to a resolution. Kim Hyun-sung, Arirang News, Singapore.
South Korea is bidding to rejoin the UN Security Council as a non-permanent member after an 11-year break. The UNSC will hold an election for non-permanent members to serve from 2024 to 2025 at 10 a.m. local time in New York on Tuesday. South Korea is the only candidate from the Asia-Pacific group in this election, with two from Africa, one from Latin America, and one from Eastern Europe also selected. Although there is no competition, the candidate must obtain more than 128 votes out of the 192 member states participating to be elected. Experts anticipate that as South Korea is the only candidate from the Asia-Pacific region, a successful result is highly likely. Now, if South Korea is elected, it'll be the third time the country has served a term on the UNSC. South Korea is diversifying its outbound shipments, focusing on boosting service exports. The country will pour billions of dollars into ICT, healthcare, and content productions to bolster their competitiveness. Shin Ha-young has more.
The government is rolling up its sleeves to find ways to boost exports from the country's services sector. During a task force meeting led by the Finance Ministry on Monday, the government decided to offer export financing of 64 trillion Korean won, or roughly $49 billion through 2027. Despite rapid growth in the global services trade, Seoul is experiencing stagnation in its exports from this sector, continuously recording a trade deficit that is not contributing to overall economic growth. In fact, its share in the country's exports has remained stagnant at around 15% for the past 30 years.
We plan to boost services industry exports, which have high added value and create jobs, from $130 billion last year to $200 billion by 2027, and become the world's 10th largest exporter in this sector.
Under the plan, $49 billion worth of financing will be injected into key services industries, including ICT, healthcare, and entertainment content. In particular, the decline in South Korea's ICT exports has continued due to the ongoing trade disputes between the U.S. and China and the global economic slowdown. It is predicted to continue until the third quarter of this year on sluggish semiconductor exports, which account for more than half of ICT shipments. In response to this, the Ministry of Science and ICT announced during the meeting strategies to adapt to the paradigm shift in ICT exports, where software now plays a significant role. Under the plan, it will diversify export items to AI services, the metaverse, blockchain software, and 5G networks. The government will also focus on expanding bilateral economic and trade cooperation with emerging markets in the Middle East and Southeast Asia from the current Chinese and U.S. markets. It plans to hold high-level consultations with the UAE and Saudi Arabia on digital technology and establish an overseas IT cooperation center in the Emirates next year, which will serve as a hub for ICT exports to the Middle East. Meanwhile, the government plans to announce an innovation strategy for the services sector, aiming to enhance its competitiveness in the second half of the year. 신하영, Arirang News.
Apple unveiled its mixed reality MR headset Vision Pro at the annual Worldwide Developers Conference in California on June 5th local time. The MR headset is Apple's ambitious new product designed to offer users augmented reality and introduce special computing. Officials said over 1,000 developers collaborated for more than 7 years to create the headset. Apple claims the Vision Pro allows the users to interact with apps and programs in an augmented reality version of their own surroundings. The device is controlled by wearers' eyes, hands, and voice. Apple calls this ski goggle-shaped gadget a wearable computer. Korean baritone Kim Tae-han has brought home this year's highest honor at the renowned Queen Elisabeth competition. This is the first time that an Asian male singer has claimed this prestigious prize. Our Kim Jong-sil has the story.
Kim Tae-han's performance captivated the audience and the judges. The South Korean baritone made history on Sunday when he became the first Asian male to win the top prize at the Queen Elizabeth competition in Brussels. He performed My Yearning, My Obsession from Erich Wolfgang Koringor's opera The Dead City as part of his performance in one of the capitals of classical music. The 22-year-old, the youngest contender this year, claimed the top prize amid fierce competition between 12 singers from all over the world. The Queen Elizabeth competition is held every year in Brussels and rotates between 4 categories: piano, cello, voice, and violin. Last year, South Korea's Choi Ha-young won the award for her cello performance, making 2023 the second consecutive year that a South Korean artist has claimed the top place in the competition. Kim Tae-han began his singing career when he was in 3rd year of middle school. After graduating top of his class from Seoul National University, he's currently taking a studio course at the Korea National Opera. And he told Arirang News what he thinks of his win.
I always introduce myself as a lucky person. I believe if I stay positive and think positively, good luck may follow. I don't think it's just my voice that won me this world-class prestigious award. I'm thankful for all my good luck and want to stay humble and continue to work hard.
Kim's currently still in Belgium preparing for the winner's concert and will return to South Korea following that. 김정실, 아리랑 뉴스.
We thank you for watching Arirang News. We'll be back at 6 p.m. Korea time. Until then, goodbye.